is for this purpose that the Adventist Youth Ministry, in partnership with the Southwest Ghana Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, brings to you a program dubbed Hope in a Troubled World. God's anointed servants, Pastor Godfred Kwesi Ataburo and Pastor Alfred Kwesi Esiem, will be ministering to us from the Takoradi Central Seventh-day Adventist Church live on Hope Channel Ghana each day, starting from the 16th to the 22nd of May, 5 a.m. and 7 p.m. each day. This program will replicate in all Adventist churches across the nation. Christ is expecting us to spread the good news. I will go. Will you?
Hope Channel, changing lives.
You took away my innocence, but you can never take away my spirit to survive. Once again, good evening and welcome to the program Wounds of the Heart, where we are here to help heal any wounds that have been caused by emotional, psychological, or any other form that is been hurting the heart. This evening, let me use this platform to say you're sorry for not coming on live last week, Wednesday, but we thank God that we are still alive today and for us to do the God's business. I would like once again to thank Sleek Afrique for the fabric. Sleek Afrique deals with all types of fabrics. In case you want to have any fabric, just go on Instagram Sleek Afrique, Facebook Sleek Afrique, or call their number 0557-355-852 and just select any kind you want, and the delivery guy will bring it just at your doorstep. And Sleek Afrique always looking sleek. Today, the flyer, as I said, the guy Alpha Art has been so wonderful to me all the time, bringing out my flyers. And if in case you need anything so far as flyer is concerned, please, you can contact this guy and he will just do justice to your work. The contact is 0551-404-387, 0551-404-387. Alpha Art, Instagram Alpha Art underscore graphics, Facebook Alpha Art. Please just go like his page and see the designs that he is creating out there. In case you also want to help this program, if you want to help Wounds of the Heart, if you want to help us go far, you can personally send whatever you want onto this very number, 0559-535554, 0559-535554. Talk to the team and we'll talk to you back, and whatever you have for the program, we're very much delighted to also help out in that aspect. Today, as I said, very soon we'll embark on Campus Store. We hope and pray that when the time is due, you're going to also help out in that same manner. So the contact I just gave, 0559-535554, you can just call and ask us about it, and we'll respond to your call. Or if you want to help Wounds of the Heart, that number you can call, and I'm telling you, you will receive anything that you want to have. And this evening I have with me someone whom last year throughout the COVID time, he was very instrumental on this program. He taught us a lot. He helped a lot of heart wounds, and today he's here to discuss this wonderful topic that we have this evening. This evening we are talking about sexual abuse in marriage. In marriage, this is not for children. It's not children. It is in marriage. That is husbands and wives. So that's the topic we are going to discuss this evening. In case you want to join us, we are Facebook Live, Hope TV GH, YouTube. You can subscribe and share our links to your groups and your friends. Like and subscribe so that at least we'll get more views for things that we want to do. If you want also to send your comment via our WhatsApp platform, the number is 0559-680066, 0559-680066, and we'll respond to your questions, your comment, or your contribution. Help me to welcome Seth. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
And how are you doing?
We're doing very well, thank you.
It's been ages, you know. It's been ages. But we thank God you are here.
Yes.
Fast forward. A lot of marriages are collapsing because of sexual abuse. And as part of domestic abuse, that goes way, every sexual, economical, whatever. I decided for us today to talk about sexual abuse. With you being a clinical psychologist and someone who talks about domestic violence and here and there, what is sexual abuse?
I mean, well, like the name implies, it has to do with abuse of a sexual nature. So that has to do with any sexual activity that is carried out towards another person by one person towards the other. Now, in most cases, it would take either the form of forced sexual activity or using threats to get sexual activity, or taking advantage of people who are not able to give consent. So in many cases, before any sexual activity is engaged in, there must be some form of consent or an agreement that someone wants to engage in a sexual activity with you. But sometimes people will take advantage of another without their consent because they may not be able to give consent.
So sexual abuse and rape, what is the difference?
Sexual abuse is a broader term. Rape has to do with forcibly. Forcibly having sexual intercourse with someone. Sexual abuse includes threatening. And also doing it because someone can't give consent. For example, if you were to somebody who has some mental challenge because of their gullibility or because they're not able to make these basic decisions, somebody may manipulate them into engaging in it, and that is also a form of sexual abuse.
So statistically, we hear sexual abuse going on. What can you tell us about the current statistics that we have concerning sexual abuse?
See, it's interesting. In Ghana, we don't have much data. The little data we have suggests that about 35% of people have had some form of sexual abuse. They'll encounter it in their life at some point. However, we know that that's a gross underrepresentation because most people do not report these kinds of abuses, especially if it is a man who's the victim. So because of our traditional male roles, men will not report sexual abuses in many cases.
But I earlier on or recently I heard that the men are now reporting and the gap is a little bit closing up to that of a woman. I don't know, but I don't know how true that one is though.
Maybe that would be a recent development, but you see, if you look at how patriarchal our society is, it makes it extremely difficult for a man to assume a position of vulnerability or weakness. And so that's something that normally doesn't happen. Plus, the abuse towards women, which obviously is the main statistic, that most sexual abuses are perpetrated towards women and females. Let me put it that way. More towards females than males.
That has been the concept.
It is.
But currently, I'm sure if we'll get people testifying the fact that currently now the dial had changed on women now abusing men sexually. I think that if you have somebody, if you know somebody, if you also heard that, then you can also share with us via our WhatsApp platform or on our Facebook page, and we will have time to so that my professor here will know that not necessarily on women alone, but now women are also sexually abusing their husbands.
Definitely. It is something that, I mean, it happens in a very subtle way. I have had the opportunity to have to deal with different families, and one of the most significant ways that women perhaps may cause some form of sexual abuse is withdrawing sex in a relationship to get a partner to act in a certain way. So if you don't do this, you don't get this.
Okay.
Okay, so that is also a form of abuse.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
the essence of many abuses is to gain control or power over the other person. So in this case, using that as a yardstick for manipulation to get what you want can also be considered. And let's not forget that men do it, women do it too. Withdrawing sex significantly so they can get you to act in a certain way.
Okay. So is sexual abuse just threatening, or if I also stop my husband or my wife from having sex with me, how do we term that?
That would also fall under abuse, because in a way, the relationship or marriage, sex is a beautiful thing within marriage, and it's something that is normally done to reinforce love for one another. Now, if you're withdrawing it and it's not for any other reason but to get the person to act in a certain way, you're trying to manipulate their behavior, knowing that it's something they need. So it's just like a boss in an office asking you to do this before you get that.
Okay.
So that is an abuse.
Okay. Because I know that probably it might sound funny that some wives will let their husband to work and probably put them on their back to use them as a horse or something, for a while before they will give in to their I don't know what you have heard.
If that is something that both of them are consenting to.
No, it's not consenting. It is the woman telling the husband, if you don't do this, as you say, the boss telling the subordinate that if you don't do this, you won't get that.
Yes. But also, if it is what gets the woman sexually aroused, then we cannot consider it as an abuse.
But what if the man is not happy about doing that? But because he's a man and he has the right, he needs to have sex with the wife, so he doesn't want to go out there. But what the wife is telling him to do is what he's doing, but it's not what he wanted to do.
Exactly, and so that's why I'm saying that. See, within marriage, the ways that people engage in sexual activity can be extremely varied, and different people may have what makes it or does it for them. And that's where we open up the conversation in couples therapy for people to understand. It might be that is what keeps gets the person aroused, to get in the mood for sex, and not a deliberate act. Now, let's not forget, sexual abuse in many cases is a deliberate act.
Okay.
It's something that people have planned, they have thought about, and they are implementing. So let's make that distinction.
Repeat what you just said again.
It is a deliberate act. It is sexual abuse is a deliberate act where people have already planned out to do this for this. It is not something of, so I get this a lot when I have men tell me that my wife says that if I don't bath in the night, I should not sleep by her. And I tell them it is not an abuse. Because really,
you should bath.
What they're asking for is not unreasonable. Exactly. That is not unreasonable. But to withhold sex for whatever reason, just so that you know that you have to beg me, that is a challenge. Because it's deliberate. The essence of the behavior is to get one person to be under control. So whenever the act is supposed to gain dominance over another, we consider it as an abuse. Okay,
so now I think that viewers, the sexual abuse had been well explained to the extent of what he added, that it is planned, it is deliberate. I want to do this, I want to do that. So if your wife should tell you that, okay, go take your shower before having sex with me, it's not abuse, but it is to your own health, because you need to look fresh and good, because it's all to enhance. You
don't have to repulse the other person.
to enhance the sexual whatever drive with you and your husband, or you and your wife. So that one is not abuse. But the question I asked on concerning the fact that you need to work before you get sex, that one probably, as you are saying, the couple therapy. But I'll
give you an example.
Okay.
So there's a man I worked with who lost his job, and his wife says, "You are not going to have sex with me. You are not working." That is abuse.
Okay. That
Because
one, yeah, okay.
it seems as if it was his own volition to have lost his job, which is not
Okay.
true.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's you're manipulating the person to gain control.
Okay. Okay.
And that's the distinction I'm trying to
Okay.
make
Now,
when it comes to
now, I think it is clear now. So we could hear a lot of cultural or traditions pertaining sexual abuse, that in some culture the wife should be beaten, or the husband, there should be a fight, there should be a struggle, there should be a forced thing. I don't know, in your course of study, have you ever come across certain, and how is it true? Are they true?
Okay, so I mean, it's interesting that you ask. We're realizing that the human arousal cycle is being changed very significantly in many people that we work with, and maybe there's a little bias because we tend to work with at least high educated and high status people, and the kinds of things that they want to be engaged in prior to sexual activity may sometimes be bizarre from the traditional perspective of intercourse. However, the slippery slope has to do with the fact that when partners are in agreement that, oh no, it's cool for us to do, then there's a challenge. Now, let's not forget that apart from forcibly having sex, wanting to engage in sexual acts that one partner doesn't like, technically it's also abuse.
It's abuse, okay.
So a husband says, as for me, I want Felicio. Or the wife says, I want cunnilingus. And then the other partner is uncomfortable, manipulating them to do so. And so I've had instances where partners will say, like the man says, I'm not engaging in this thing again if you cannot do oral sex with me because I find it boring. That's manipulation.
Okay.
To get them to do what you want, even though they don't want it. So they are not taking the sexual activity away. But you are saying that you want it in a certain way that your partner feels uncomfortable with.
So sexual abuse.
Yes.
Another meaning from what you just said, that if one partner is not comfortable about a sexual act.
Yes. It's an abuse.
Hey. Viewers, we are learning this evening. It's quite strange that no one knows what happens under the roof of married couples. No one knows. But if these things we are sharing happens, or you've heard about it, then they are true. So he is throwing more light on it for us to know that you made two meanings of sexual chronologies and what. Can you bring it down to the level of my viewer, if he or she want to help some couple with that issue? What are those two terms you use? Is it cunnilingus or?
Okay, so fellatio has oral sex where a man wants their sexual organ to be put in their mouth, and then cunnilingus is oral sex performed on a woman.
On a woman, okay. So vice versa.
Yes.
Okay.
In street terms, blowjob.
Yeah, blowjob, yeah,
and
exactly,
licking.
and licking. Okay, I think that one is okay for us. So if one finds it comfortable, then if they all consent to that, there's no abuse.
There's no abuse. They are agreeing. We have couples whose sexual arousal is dependent on strangling, bondage, like tying them up, etc. But both partners are in on it.
Okay, so
of course, I'm not saying in any way that I would do it.
Exactly.
But I'm trying to explain that once there's a consent and both of them don't have a challenge,
it's no abuse.
there's no abuse in it.
Okay. Now, because we need to understand sexual abuse in marriage from all other angles. Because at the end of the day, in as much as we want to help other people overcome, we also need to teach people what it is so that they wouldn't even venture.
Yes.
Okay, in a while where the other partner, the husband or the wife, want the partner for them to try new thing.
Yes.
And the women normally doesn't propose because in quotes the husband might think that what must say kind of But when the husbands want to propose a new style in marriage, in sex, which is not comfortable, probably the woman had never seen it before. How can he go about it? How should he go about it?
It's simple. It's about talking about it. And of course, remember that with change comes a lot of uncertainty. So when you are proposing something you would want to do, don't expect that once you say it's something that will be embraced. Obviously, because of concerns, how am I going to be able to do, etc., etc., it might not work. But keeping that conversation open is the most important thing.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, if you try so much and your partner says,
You stop.
I don't want to do this, I'm not comfortable, you must respect
Exactly.
that part, because
Exactly.
there are so many other ways to enjoy that sexual union than the only way that you are looking for.
Okay. Okay. All right. So what are some of the factors that could lead people to sexually abuse their partner?
See, interestingly, sexual abuse is just one angle of domestic abuse.
Exactly.
And in many cases, what we recognize is that before the sexual abuse, there's always physical abuse. So in many cases, before somebody becomes sexually abusive, they are already physically abusing their partner in some way. They are manipulating the partner to gain control.